Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Dani Mantilla y estamos aquí en el Festival de San Sebastián, en el set audiovisual interior que tenemos entre Repsol y Kinótico en el Hotel María Cristina. Hoy nos acompaña Raoul Peck, director de Orwell 2 más 2 son 5. Welcome to San Sebastián.
Well, thank you.
Congrats for the movie. It opened in Cannes and now is in San Sebastián. I think it's the only documentary competing in Perlak. How has been traveling around the world? Because the film feels so current. You watch the news and you can think of what you have seen in this documentary.
Well, it's when somebody like Orwell analyzes society and get to the fundamentals of the society in a capitalistic context, it's like discovering the matrix, how it functions, how the structure of power function, and how the relationship between society and the leaders of that society function. So unfortunately, it's still true today.
It's really interesting to see in the credits that this film is co-produced by Alex Gibney, a power force in the documentary. How did this happen? How has been collaborating with him?
Well, we have been friends with Alex for many, many years. We exchange very regularly about politics, about film, about the industry. And in that case, he was called by Universal, who asked him if he was interested to be the executive producer for a film about Orwell, and that he would have access to all the body of work. And Alex responded, "I will do it if Raoul Peck is the directors." And Alex called me, and of course, there is stuff that you can't refuse, and to have the possibility to work with such an incredible trove of treasury, it was clear for me that I would do it.
What were you most intrigued by when you were navigating all this material from Orwell?
Well, even though I knew, a lot in terms of what you learn in school and what you read, and the last years, you can't read an article about the state of the world without seeing the world Orwell or the adjective Orwellian. Yeah. So it's for any general public audience, But for me, was in fact how deep his analysis was, and how when I was younger, I thought it's kind of science fiction. It's sort of a dystopian world that is scary, but that will never happen. But digging deeper, I realized he was talking about his own experience in Burma as a colonial soldier, and he wrote extensively about it in this wonderful essays, Why I Write. Yeah. It's an incredible essay. And also his experience in the Spanish Civil War. And for him, that was a real turning point. In the film, he says at one point, after the Civil War in Spain, I knew where I stood, and that's an important and powerful moment in his life. And from there, he said, I would write only politically. I had to make a stand and make a choice.
There are a lot of images of Gaza in the film. Do you remain hopeful about the power that maybe this film or the voice of Hind Rajab may have in the way we approach this subject? Because Israel is trying to prevent, we don't have images of what's going on there.
Well, the saddest thing is that if it's my film that will change the position of people, it's even sadder, because this story exists for at least 40, 50 years, since at least 1948. It didn't start on October 7th. And if we see the multitude of UN resolutions, the multitude of attempts to have peace, the fact that somebody like Rabin was killed, assassinated, by the way, by very close of some of the leaders that are now in power. So it's like sometimes people choose to close their eyes and not see the reality. But the Palestinians, they had to live under a colonial occupation. And how long can you, Spanish people can understand, how long can you survive in a sort of subhuman condition, you know, multitude of generation, you know, and people do as if terrorism, something we all condemn, of course, come out of nowhere. But terrorists usually start by desperation when people, young people, don't see a future. They don't see how they saw their parents, their grandparents living in camps, refugee camps, and those are young men and young women who have the same dream as our children here in Spain, in France, in the US. They are the same human being, unless you decide to say, well, Palestinians, they are animals, like we have heard minister of Netanyahu government saying. So then if they are animals, we can as well kill them.
You are quite open about your take on this subject. This film has gotten a lot of attention. It's going to open in America with Neon, an important distributor. How has been the experience of promoting this film in America, where I hope that things are starting to change a little bit?
Well, I'm glad you have hope.
Not much,
but in fact, the campaign is starting. I have seen much more foreign journalists. The film opened as well, had its North America premiere in Toronto at the Festival of Toronto. The response were great. The exchange with the journalists were great. Here in Spain, the response with the journalists, I felt they were really into the film and they understood and they were excited about it. In America, as we know, every day is another day. Anything, we are dealing with an administration that lives with new title every day. They have to create a new drama every day. Their strategy was announced even before the election. It's, we're gonna flood the zone. That's the strategy, and that's what they are doing, and it's working perfectly well. We don't know where to look. We don't know where to listen, because every day there are a multitude of new things happening, and the press feel the urgency that they have to respond to all of that. So they choose, and not always the most important thing going on in the background, decisions that are structural and that will have repercussion the next 30 years, and that's scary.
It's on the title, 2 + 2 = 5. How does one live in this world where the truth seems to not matter anymore, or it's difficult to discern with the deep fakes, with AI, everything?
Well, that's incredible that Orwell came up with that early, and that's the reason we call the film, the title is 2 + 5, which means, you need to question everything that comes to you. You can't just swallow everything that is presented to you like the truth, And Orwell already in 1948, 1949 wrote that the objective truth seems not to exist anymore. Far back already. So you can imagine in what situation we are today. And yes, it's going to be a fight to reclaim some sort of reality.
You were surprised about me wishing to be hopeful. Are you a little bit hopeful at least? Because some people are waking up.
Yeah. Well, yes, but it's a fight. It will not happen by itself. Like Orwell says in the film, if there is hope, he say, if there is hope. He doesn't say there are no hope. He said, if there is hope, it will come from the 84% of the people of Oceania That's the country in the book, 1984. And I think a little bit like this. It depends on us individually and collectively. What do we do? What do we decide? History doesn't wait. If we are not there on the field, on the ground, doing something collectively, history will happen without us, and anything can happen.
Thank you, Raoul Peck.
Thank you.
Congratulations for your film and enjoy San Sebastián while you are here.
Thank you very much.
Seguimos con más entrevistas aquí en el set de Repsol y Kinótico en el Hotel María Cristina. Hasta pronto.